Hello everyone, and welcome back to another Heartwell Demo stream, the live stream series where I continue to develop this adorable action RPG with platform mechanics and multiple endings. If you find these dev streams interesting or helpful, be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel and hit that bell button to stay notified. Now, as with the previous dev streams, we are continuing the screen set resizing rework, and we've been making good progress. We've been focusing primarily on the main menu frame here, so you'll notice if we step into here, you'll see that we at least have the UI semi-functional here. Obviously, the numbers are all over the place and need to be moved a bit, but this is kind of where we're at. As you can see by the settings, all that's at least there. So now we're just going to try and move all these data back where it needs to be displayed. So that is where we are picking up tonight. All right, so now we need to look for the continue from here, which I believe is way down. Here we are. Below, I've added the strings. Now I need to continue this process for them. That's what coordinate offsets from the coordinates of that. Yeah, okay. Oh, right, most part of the text drawing into save file. Okay. So we've created new strings for at least some of the melee weapons, for example, and we need to rename them and go for there. Oh, hello, Copper Nicholson. Thanks for dropping by. How's it going? Welcome, welcome. That's a funny way to spell catching fire, Copper Nicholson. But yeah. There have been some good sci-fi movie adaptations, but I tend to prefer the books personally. Okay, so only the save file player levels have had their sections copied. We use reprogram to display in the correct Are those all reprogrammed at this point? I don't think they are. Let's find out. Oh, no, they are. They are all those are reprogrammed. That's why we see those values there. Okay, I think I actually did do some calculating for the save files, and that's how they're getting displayed. Let's take a look at this for a second, chat. Let's take a gander, if you will. Okay, so line 27 is what we have to do there. Yep, Catching Fire is the second book in the Hunger Games trilogy. Okay. Let's figure out the offsets from the original string. So first things first. We need some strings for the current strings for melee weapons. So somewhere on this, whoa. To the player levels. Okay, so here's the melee levels. This is what we're interested in, chat. So we need to name this to melee level 1. Yeah. And then make some duplicates. Melee level 1. Let's see. Which episode? Oh, I know which episode you're talking about, Topper Nitroson. I think you're talking about when Ram and Nod looked at a picture of Gabrielle Bell, who was supposed to be a major civil rights icon in the Star Trek universe, and it looks exactly like Commander Sisko because of the time travel episode. Yep, called it. And Past Tense really is a very iconic 2-part episode in the just in Deep Space Nine. As you know, some pretty important things to say about, well, I'd say I probably don't want to spoil it, but just if you're watching Deep Space Nine, Past Tense is one of those really, really excellent episode, 2-part episodes. Let's see here. Now we clone this object, I think. Yeah. Call this levels 5. We'll duplicate that. Oh, or not. All right. Now we have the melee levels. So we just did these 2 actions, and that's for the force speed to reprogram the coordinate display. And we need to figure that out. So chat, to determine the offset here, we simply need to go into the UI and do some counting. Let's go to here. So what we see here, chat, is the... That might be a bit easier to understand what we're looking at here. So this is used, chat, to... This is essentially the save file UI for when we're on the records page, the records being the save file records. So, in order to determine the offsets, we simply need to find a location to reference and then subtract the distances with our coordinate graph system down here in the bottom right. So for example, we have player level over here, and we're going to use the top right corner of the text here as our point. So I put my cursor over the top right corner, look in the bottom right of the screen, well, I mean this window here, it says 65,119. Those are the X and Y coordinates. In this case, the Y coordinates aren't going to change from what we currently have with the other level section. What we are going to change is the X coordinate. So first, let's write down some numbers here. So 65 is our X start. Then where we're going, so for melee levels, we're interested in a coordinate around here. So it's like the top right corner of this, but for where the S is here. So, hammer cursor there. Notice it's 126. That's our X coordinate. So we do 126 minus 65, and autocorrect does our calculation for us. So the offset, chat, is 61. We'll call that the x-coordinate offset. Now, why did we do that? Hello, Jay. Thanks for dropping by. How's it going? Darn you useful applications of school math. I know, right? Like, when did we ever think subtraction would be beneficial? Especially with game design? You need calculus for that, right? Well, no. Like, a lot of game design is actually just basic algebra. Like, you'd be really, really surprised how often it comes into play. Or at least programming, a lot is just basic algebra. Especially in a game like this, that has more of a pseudo... How would I describe... Actually, I guess it's a top-down 2D game, but it has 3D elements, so... 2.5D, mayhaps? Heartwell's kind of hard to describe. It's just kind of like Crosscode in the sense that, like, it looks 2D, but it has actual height to it. So how do you quantify that? It's at least more so in the direction of 2D in the sense that it looks 2D. It looks like a top-down, you know, dungeon crawling kind of RPG. But as we all know, when you actually play Heartwell, you can jump. There's platforms, things like that. It isn't true 3D though, for the sole reason that you can't like walk behind platforms. Algebra graphing a decent is probably when it comes to crit or enemy activity. True, very true. I mean, statistical probability. That's more so on the game balancing side. I mean, speaking of game balancing though, chat, something I brought up in the past couple of streams, but I'll mention again here, is since part of the updates I'm working on for Heartwell is going to essentially let all the basic enemies in Bardolph give more, noticeably more XP than they do right now. That means it'll be easier to level up, which means, drum roll please, I'm going to have to make the tutorial bosses a little bit more difficult. And while the easiest thing to do would be to simply increase the amount of health they have, I was actually thinking it'd be a lot more fun to actually maybe add like a second phase for each of them. Now granted, I don't want to do anything too complicated because they're still tutorial bosses. I don't want to like throw people into the deep end of the pool here at like the start of the game, but I want to at least make them have, you know, do something else beyond what they do right now, just to make them match up with the fact that players will be leveling up more easily and be more encouraged to explore. Phase 2 Electric Boogaloo. Yeah, that's something I'm excited for because it'll hopefully make the bosses more memorable than they already are. I already know that people who've played, you know, gotten as far as they do, far enough to actually face the bosses. There's a lot of people who say that Madsmith is harder than Skull Splitter, but I guess that just depends on the style of combat. But hopefully a phase 2 for each of them can up the difficulty sufficiently while still being relatively fair. And where were we? Oh yes, we need to adjust the coordinates. So we're not interested in wait, when is alterable string 2? Okay, that alterable string will have to change. But we need to change the positioning here. So it's 51,114, which means logically, chat, we're going to, what am I doing? Hold on. So while the y coordinate will remain the same, the x coordinate is going to be whatever 51 plus our offset of 61 is here. So 51 plus 61, and autocorrect solves it for us, 112. Let's see here. Okay. Copper Nicholson asks, why does Starfleet only employ humanoid races? The answer, Copper Nicholson, is special effects cost money. And it's a lot easier to do makeup and costumes for a humanoid character than it is for something else. Now, I know that's not the answer you're looking for, but that's the practical answer. Because if you think about how quickly they had to pop out episodes when these shows existed, it was going to have to be, it was going to be just cost more money, more time, and you know, when you're trying to do things on a relative budget and quickly, that's not an option. The Doyleist explanation, human actors. Watson's explanation, humans feel more of a kinship with other humans. That is true. Too, and it's, yeah, I guess that's true. Humans feel more connection to other humans, just as dogs feel connection to other dogs, cats feel connection to other cats, etc. Alright, so we got that. Now we just need to alter the alterable string. So it's essentially just deleting most of this. Second half, there's no new lines anymore, it's just the coordinates. Okay. Boop. Hooray! So now, chat, if we've done this correctly, just as a little test. Yes! Look at that, chat. Our spacing is perfect. We got the coordinates spot on there. So now we just need to propagate that for the rest of the melee levels. The Doyleist is the IRL reasoning. Watsonian is the universe explanation. And after, change the way the explain as the character applies to surgery. I see. Gotcha. Okay. You know, I've never heard the term Doyleist explanation. Where are you saying that comes from? Is Doyleist like the, as in like Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, the guy who wrote Sherlock Holmes? Or is it Doyle as in something else? Okay, so what we need next, chat, is to do the same thing we did here, but just for all the other melee weapon strands. Okay, so here's the next one. So essentially it's this plus 61. So 277 plus 61 is equal to 338. It's from John Watson and Conan Doyle. Ah, gotcha. Okay, that makes sense. And now that I think about it, it has been forever since I've read any Sherlock Holmes novels. Like, the irony is, like, the most recent Sherlock Holmes anything I remember isn't even a Sherlock Holmes, but it's literally Sherlock Holmes, the character, from watching Nico B's The Great Ace Attorney Let's Play. Or The Great Ace Attorney 2 Let's Play. Which, by the way, fantastic visual novel. If you haven't, if you're looking for a visual novel whole series to play, the Great Ace Attorney duology is very well done. Sherlock Holmes, no, don't you dare say that, Jay. Listen, I watched the Nico B's Let's Play of The Great Ace Attorney 1 on a fan translation, and in that fan translation, Sherlock Holmes was Sherlock Holmes. He wasn't Sherlock Holmes. They didn't have to worry about that in a fan translation. But when he plays the second game and they do the Sherlock Holmes thing to get around the copyright stuff, best Great Ace Attorney translation. Exactly, Jay. Exactly. But in the sequel, where they actually, you know, officially publish the duology, they had to do the Sherlock Holmes thing, and so as a result, Nico just refused to call him Sherlock Holmes and just consistently called him Sherlock Holmes. So in my head, it is Sherlock Holmes. Oh, if it says Sherlock Holmes on the game UI, it's a lie. We all know who it's supposed to be. Like, Let's see here. You have the trilogy, you only play the first one. Oh, nice. Wait. Oh, when you say you have the trilogy, are you referring to like the original Ace Attorney trilogy? Because the Great Ace Attorney is a duology. There is no third game unless they tied in some other game that's completely unrelated. Like, if you have the original trilogy, I'd say play the first one just to get a feel for it. The second one, you're really not missing much. The third one is amazing. And that's just my very spoiler-free opinion of the original Great Ace Attorney, not Great Ace Attorney, the original Ace Attorney trilogy. It's, I think it's called Trials and Tribulations is the third one. That's easily the best one of the original trilogy. But I feel like playing the first one is still good just to kind of get into the feel of what Ace Attorney is. Oh, and for those who are wondering what Copper Nicholson's talking about, 106 days until Benjamin Sister arrives. So, there is an episode, a really, one of the best episodes in Deep Space Nine is a two-part episode. It's called Past Tense, and it involves some time travel. But the thing about that episode is when Commander Sisto and Dr. Bashir and Dats are all time traveled back, the time frame they end up appearing in is in like summer of 2024, which is this year. So that's what Copper Nicholson's referring to. Great Attorney Chronicles. Apollo and Phoenix both have trilogy, so I have to use. No worries. Well, I mean, if you played through the first one, Jay, I'd strongly recommend playing through the second one because I think it's even better than the first. It's really, really well done. And I think it's probably the only Ace Attorney game that really leans into continuity. Because yes, you could argue like the trilogies do make occasional references back to the first or second games, but they don't really are not super reliant on that. 2 ideas, too little time. Fair. But with like the Great Ace Attorney 2, it like you need to play the first one to really get the most out of the second one. Like it's just like it almost feels like the second one was deliberately written with the intent that it's the second half of an overarching story, which is just makes it a lot more interesting from a narrative perspective, in my humble opinion. Okay. And speaking of too many games, too little time, I have made, we're on like, I think like the final boss or perhaps final 2 bosses of Sekiro. Last stream, we just we spent all of last stream trying to defeat a mini boss so that we could essentially not have to worry about, well, basically save a little bit of time on the run back to the bosses where we actually do need to fight. Now that we've done that, it's just a question of learning the attack patterns of the bosses we're currently facing. Alright, so 468 plus 61 is equal to 529. Let's see here. We adjust that. Now the third line should be all good to go. Unless. Okay. Now we have 659. Plus. Listen, chat, if by the end of the stream, we have like all the UI for the save files in their proper location, I'll consider that a win, because there's quite a... most of tonight's stream is going to be this. This is definitely one of those game development examples of it's not difficult, it's just tedious. Like there's like for every awesome moment where you're like designing a boss fight or drawing like a really cool section of a level or like making the artwork for a character you really like, there's also moments like this. It's all part for the course. Like this is all part of oh, wait a minute. I just realized something. These may not be the correct, these might not be the correct coordinates. Because that's doing the coordinate system that was based off of the larger thing. I need to base it off of the player level. Yeah, okay, I can already see that we've, But hey, you know what? If I made a mistake, I'm glad I'm catching this right now, rather than once I've done all 8 of them, I'm like, wait, I did the math wrong. No, I've only done math wrong for a couple of them. It's, I need to use 241 as the baseline, not what's written there. So 241 plus 61 is equal to 302. I also need to change the coordinates as well, because that should be at 114. That's at 114. Yeah, that needs to be at 114. Chat, let this be an example of make sure you double check everything you do when you're changing code. It's an important thing to keep going. Okay. Yeah, that needs updated too. Okay, so 431 plus 61 is 492. So it'll be 492, 114. Okay. All right, then we have 51, 187. So 51 plus 61 is 112? Yeah, 112. 112, 187. So 112, 187. And the thing up there, this will just be set to melee level 4. Okay, nice. Halfway there for the melee weapons, chat. Okay, and now is where we need to search for the new strings we added. I do not know where they will end up. Up there they are. There they are. Now this will require some movements. That should go player level, melee level, ranged, wisdom. So there's the player level, there's the melee level. Okay. So many strings, chat. So little time. How? We're going to strap yourselves in, ladies and gentlemen, because this is what most of the streams do not be. But you know what? That's all right. This is all part of the process. It's important that we keep going there. All right, so now, as they say, chat, this is where the fun begins, because we need to copy over some of our code from over yonder. Now, this is all. Some of the code's copy over is easy. The others will require some editing. Like the delete function, for example, will definitely require some editing. Oh man, I forgot that the delete function had the unique stuff. Whoopsie daisy. Well, before we panic, let's start with the easy thing, which is this right here. Okay, next up, let's make sure our melee levels are all in sync. One 12, 114. No, that's not gonna work. No, it's the same as the others, so in theory. There, I could just delete it and set it like that. No! Come back, friends! Come back! Okay. Alright, it's back. It's back. Now, why are we doing this, chat? Just to hopefully alleviate some mistakes by copying what we edit straight over. Saves us a bit of typing, since we don't have to type everything out again. And it also helps reduce the risk of making a mistake. And a mistake here would be catastrophic, because with any kind of RPG that lasts more than a couple of minutes, you need to have everything about your save files in order. Or else, you know, wild bugs and crazy things like that can happen. And we don't want that. We want a nice, happy game with all the save file stuff working correctly, so the players can enjoy simple, fun platforming and simple, fun combat in our simple, fun game that totally doesn't have a super deep story or super rich world building or deep storytelling. Or I'm just kidding. I can't keep this bit up forever. Heartwell will be a difficult game. Heartwell will have a deep story. Heartwell will have rich world building. We've seen this. I'm just trying to be silly. What did I do? I grabbed the wrong thing. There. Alternatively, glitch match stats onto new save file to speedrun. You know, the irony is people like the people who speedrun crosscode actually do that, but not in the way you think. So, fun fact about crosscode, chat, is that there are actually 2 playable characters, but normally you're only playing as one, that being Leia. And that's because, you're gonna say, wait, what do you mean? Look at you, Shizuka, exactly. So the reason why speedrunners use Shizuka is because she starts with level 60 base stats, even though she says she's level 1. So that means that means you're effectively getting a level 60 character at the start if you can use save file manipulation to play as Shizuka outside the tutorial. And by doing that, you know, it makes the game obviously way faster because you deal so much more extra damage. And I think Shizuka might even have like a weapon art, not weapon art, like a combat art to start out with, so that helps too. Actually, you know what? Question for you guys, chat. Who here has played the video game called Sunny? And I'm not talking, and Sunny is a Flash game that involved like playing as a sentient zombie and trying to find out why you became a sentient zombie. And it's like an RPG battle simulator of sorts. You play it. There were many flowers. I don't remember there being flowers in Sunny, but all right, you played it. Have you heard of it, Jay, or is this the first time you're hearing of it? Because the speedrun for that game is actually pretty interesting. It has everything to do with how the game was programmed. Never heard of it? Okay, well, I know I mentioned how much Flash games influenced how I think about things, like with my game development, and Sunny and its sequel Sunny 2 are perfect examples of that. Like, Sunny and Sunny 2 could legitimately have been expanded into their own like RPG style of game. Like these Flash games had skill trees, they had bosses, they had story, they had like equipment pages. It was, you know, remarkably involved for a Flash game. But because of all that complexity and like different elements and resistances and like equipment you can put on to change your stats and like skill points to invest your levels, the speedrun for it actually essentially uses the way Sunny was programmed to its advantage. So in essence, there is a glitch that you can do in Sunny because for whatever reason, the region of the screen where you can, the idea is you're supposed to be able to drag and drop the equipment your inventory onto specific slots on your character, like your armor piece, your headpiece, your weapon, etc., to change the player's stats. And it's supposed to switch out what you're equipped. However, in Sunny 1, there's a glitch where the region to actually place your equipment on your person, for whatever reason, that region extends to one of the other menu buttons that's not actually part of the equipment menu. And because of that, chat, what speedrunners can do is they can just buy a lot of the same equipment and then just drag and drop that equipment off the equipment menu onto a different menu, and then it'll act as though the game will think that you actually equipped that equipment even though you actually haven't. And as a result, that equipment kind of goes into the void and you've now permanently buffed your stats. So imagine, if you will, Chad, if you play a game like Elden Ring, but for like every piece of armor you find, you could just equip it and just have it in the background, but not actually equip it, just but getting its benefits and stack those benefits over and over and over again. That's how you speedrun the game. Yeah, someone got their variables override each other. It's really funny. Like, that's how you can get to a situation where if you look at the little bars that represent your damage resistance and damage negation, you can actually make that bar go completely off the screen, and it's hilarious. Like, because they're like, you're not supposed to be able to have stats that are this high, but okay then. Sounds like Tears of the Kingdom, Zoodling. What's that about, Jay? I don't think I've heard of that. Like, I've seen a Let's Play of Tears of the Kingdom, but I'm not sure what the Zoodling is, though. Trick David to think you're holding an item when you already are. Ah, that. Yeah, exactly. It's the same process, except you're doing it for literally like an almost like armory's worth of equipment. If they have the same sword, all damage stats. Exactly. I just want to imagine, like, imagine if that, you know, bug worked in real life. It's like, okay, I'm just gonna stat swords infinitely. Then you just see someone and they're holding like infinite swords, like all in one hand. They're like, ah! It'd be really, really funny. It'd be basically just the sword of blades in Elden Ring. Let's see here. Well, Copper Ethelson, in order to answer your question about how to make an MLP game, MLP stands for My Little Pony game, I guess it would depend on the genre. So, if I were to imagine a My Little Pony game, you'd have to ask, okay, what's the genre going to be? So, Heartwell obviously being being an action RPG, you have certain expectations. But when I think of My Little Pony, I don't necessarily think of like RPG, action RPG, things like that, just because that doesn't really seem to be the style of show it is. There are fights, but they aren't really like super involved. We're not any like Dragon Ball Z levels of anime shenanigans going on. So I've already gone over Soulsborne Copper Edelson, so I'm not going to repeat myself. So I think instead, what you'd want to do with My Little Pony is you'd want to actually make more of, I think you could still go the RPG route, but not in the way you're thinking. So instead of an action RPG where you're doing like lots of combat and stuff, imagine instead a more like South Park Stick of Truth style of RPG, or like a turn-based RPG, where it's like you and your enemies are facing off against each other, but you actually have like a lot of visual novel elements with all the different ponies and characters, and you're building relationships and bonds, you know, that whole friendship thing. Like, it should be all about forming those bonds until, by the end of the game, who's going to be your one true best friend. That's, like, probably how you do it. Another Crash Forever, Soulsborne, but cute. Yes. Yes. Yeah, I guess in that case, it would be more like My Little Pony meets Persona in that case. Okay, so we're on this one. We shall use that one as our baseline. Okay, we're on number 5. Need to adjust this one to a 5. That one also to a 5. Alright, so 302, 187. Stick of Truth Framework work too. It's just the imagination of the ponies playing pretend. Yep, that would definitely work. Or even if they weren't playing pretend, like I still think just the way Stick of Truth is portrayed, like you walk around an area, like a cartoonish area, doing exploring and stuff, making friendships. Well, I mean, you don't really make that much friendships in Stick of Truth, but I'm like, imagine, if you will, mixing like a visual novel friendship, like free time events kind of thing, like in Trails of Cold Steel or the Danganronpa days, where you form bonds with specific characters that you choose in your free time. Followed by the Stick to Truth combat and exploration. I think that would work perfectly in like a My Little Pony setting, because you can maintain that cartoon aesthetic that it has. I mean, that was one of the things I liked about Stick to Truth, was the fact that it really felt like you were just watching an episode. Like you were just playing an episode of South Park. Like that's how like well they did the artwork in that game. And chat, I'll keep in mind, while I'm doing all this programming, I'm having to constantly mentally resist the urge to use the numpad on my keyboard, because the numpad on my keyboard is what controls like the Be Right Back screen. So when I'm programming in my free time, I would use the numpad all the time just because it's way easier. I can move my hands, between the mouse and the numpad much faster than having to, move my hands all across the other keys on the main keyboard. But here I have to resist. I'm like, no, don't do it, Antomicx. Don't. Don't accidentally put up the be right back or end stream soon. Or sorry, end of stream screen. Okay. Time for the next one. Oop. So many green check marks everywhere. You've been working on a game in Fusion 2.5 for a while when your screen is almost completely filled with green check marks just everywhere. Plot twist, I'm now in charge of making a game based on Transformers. No, there's plenty of games like that, right? Calvin Nicholson, I refuse. Okay, 431 plus 61 is 492, so... But there are no Soul Sport Transformer games. Well, then I would just say, if I were designing a game in the Transformer series, it would probably be designed very similarly to the way Armored Core 6 is designed. Essentially, you'd have to make your own custom Transformer, and you get new parts as you go, and you're fighting giant robots all along the way. And I would also say give your character the choice to join the Autobots, Decepticons, or neither, just as in Armored Core 6, you can actually, make that kind of decision as to what faction you ally with, and it completely changes, like, what set of missions you actually get to do. So, Armored Core 6? You haven't heard of Armored Core 6 on this channel, Top Nicholson? Shame. Okay, sorry, but in all seriousness, the Armored Core 6 is, it's basically Dark Souls, but robots. Or Dark Souls, but Gundams. And it is also made by From Software. So has the same exact feel as the Souls-like game by From Software, except robots. It is quite well done, from what I've heard. Very, very well done. Yep, time for the next one. We're on melee weapon number 7. And which I don't know what coordinate I need. Give me 1 second, chat. 147, 260. So that'd be 208, 260. Yeah. Bada bang, bada boom. Now we copy that on down here. Boop. Two eight 260, 208 260. Okay. And finally, all right, that's 398 260. Yeah. Jay asks, have I played any Final Fantasy games? Great question. Believe it or not, no, I have not. And that might seem crazy because it's like, Antomicx, you seem to really like RPGs and JRPGs. How do you not played Final Fantasy? I'm sorry. It's like Final Fantasy games, from what I understand, have mostly been like PlayStation games or things like that. I know there are some Final Fantasy games on PC, but I don't know. I've never gotten around to it. Bear in mind, chat, I've also never played a Fire Emblem game, but I've played Shining Force 1 and most of 2. But Shining Force is a much less popular game than Fire Emblem is. So... yeah. $3.98. Most all are on PC now if I'm interested. Alright, well, it's definitely something I can keep in mind. I've heard they're really well put together games, it's just... I mean, right now, Jay, it'll come as absolutely no surprise in terms of, like, JRPGs that I'm, like, invested in. Like, I think I'll probably have to finish all the games in the Trails series before I consider anything like Final Fantasy. And I'm saying that for the sole reason that Trails of Cold, like, the Trails games have completely sucked me in. Like, I am 1000% invested in the world building that is Trails, and the games that are Trails, and the way that that system is structured, both gameplay-wise and such, so I am thoroughly sucked in. Fair enough. But there's something I'll keep in mind. Like, if there comes, like, a Final Fantasy game that is full-on Souls-like, I know Final Fantasy VII Remake's a thing, but I mean, like, just, they go all in on it, then that might make me reconsider. But for now, it's definitely not top of mind. And I still need to make the decision of which Trails game is going to be the next one for the challenge run. Because, like I've said many times before, chat, is between the sequel to Trails to Zero and the very first Trails game ever made. So those are being Trails to Azure and Trails in the Sky, respectively. Now, you might say, Thomas, why would you even consider playing the first game in the Trails series before, you know, finishing the Crossbell arc? And the simple reason is Estelle Bright. Like, Estelle Bright got me very interested in learning more about LaBeryl and things like that. Just, she was just such an interesting character in Trails from Zero, and the fact that she and Joshua basically carried our team in the final dungeon. Final Fantasy VII Remake has some hard bits, but it's nowhere near Souls-like difficulty. Ah, gotcha. Yeah. I'd say the Final Fantasy VII Remake, from what I've seen in some Let's Plays, is definitely more of an action RPG than the, you know, than the older Final Fantasy games, which are more just, you know, standard turn-based RPGs. But it definitely doesn't look like it has that kind of Souls-like combat. It's more so, I guess it's more Xenoblade-y to an extent, but there's actual, like, combos and stuff, so, what? I mean, then again, I guess maybe not. Maybe it's kind of Kingdom Hearts, kind of more action RPG, sort of, where you're like, yeah, like a command prompt and a menu. And speaking of menus, yes, look at that, chat. Allow me to draw your attention, chat, to the melee level sections here. Notice how they are all, well, almost perfectly placed. I'm noticing that they're a bit to the right of what I intended. Why is that? Did I do the math wrong, or... Actually, wait, no, I didn't, because it's, it all has to do with them being at level 0 as opposed to not, I think. Yeah, because if it levels up higher, it's going to it might overlap. I think. Is that how that works? Also to be off by like the same amount too. More Xenoblade, fair. I saw Copper Nicholson. Yeah, I think we need to tone it back a couple of sections. I want to say we need to, like, change the factor by 3. Okay. I really thought we did the mathematics right, so curious where we went wrong here. Actually, wait. It might also just be the higher levels, so... Okay, so for 56... it seems to line up as expected, or almost as expected. Also, I believe it's the perfect sequel, and I'll be convinced otherwise. I've heard it was very well done. Very, very well done. Okay. I did we go with 241 like that. It's the only game that has made me physically snap and shock at a twist. I mean, I've had some games that really threw me for a loop with twists before as well, like... Might be still like a bit of an odd one to bring up, but I think Assassin's Creed 3 actually did a really good job setting up an initial twist where the person you play as at the start of the game is actually, well, one of the main antagonists, and you don't realize that until you're getting towards that part of the game. That's handled very well, unironically. Like, you're playing as Haytham Kenway, and you're thinking, Haytham Kenway, he clearly must be some kind of hero character, right? He's charismatic, he's going to teach, Connor Kenway some things, but nope! He's a major antagonist, and you've been playing as a Templar for the first chunk of the game. Alright, something I need to check. Is the text centered or left to right? Why is it centered? Oh, you know what, chat? That's probably why this isn't making any sense. All the text is aligned centered for some reason. If it was a line left. Me thinks we need to make some adjustments. Alright, I was wondering, like, why isn't this lined up correctly? It's because it's because the text is centered. We don't want it centered, we need it aligned left. Well, these are about to be a bit tedious, chat, but bear with me. We'll have to make some adjustments to have everything line up correctly. Da, 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 da. Right now in my head, chat, I'm imagining the chicken dance theme because that's what it feels like right now to be adjusting all these. Da 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 da. All right, now enjoy our mathematics. All right, sounds good, Jay. Thanks for dropping by. Hope you have a great rest of your day. All right, adjustments are in order. Let's try. Let's try a nice 60. Will that work? Not quite. Let's try 70. Alright, a little too much. Let's try 66. Whoa, too close, too close, too close. 68. Okay, there we go. So essentially, we need to add 17 to all the coordinates we selected. $112 plus 17 is $129. Little mental math there, chat, just to figure some things out. $258. 319. And 319. Okay. Good. Next up, 431. Read a message as Tella. Dear Princess Celestia, today I learned an important lesson about friendship. A man from the future showed up named Benjamin Sisto, and he claimed he was from space and was best friends with a changeling, but he wasn't like an equestrian changeling. He was a bowl of soup. I quickly realized that he was just this for playing his usual tricks, so I cast a spell on him with unicorn magic. It sent him to the moon for 1,000 hours of time out. He won't be bothering us again soon. Your faithful student, Toa Sparkle. Four, 144. 509. Alright, 509, 114. Okay. One becomes 68. $112 becomes 129. Okay. One becomes 258. $302 becomes 319. Okay, 431 becomes 448. And then 492. It's 509. Yeah. $147. 164. $208, $215, $225. Yeah. Alrighty. $337 becomes $354. And $398 becomes $415. All right, chat. Let's see if we did our math correctly. I think we did. I think we did, chat. Look at that. Nice and clean. The numbers are all in place. How about that? How about that? At least for the player and melee levels. Now I have to repeat the process for the other stuff. Alright, chat, I think this will be a good spot to take a break, so don't turn guys. I will be right back. Alrighty, chat. Welcome back, everyone. So, before the ad break, we were in the midst of reprogramming, well, programming the locations of the display strings for the player and melee levels. And now we are about to do the same for the ranged levels. So, we start by first renaming these. Rename that. Name that. Name that and rename that. Now we clone this object. Move these down a bit. Clone that object. Good. Now we repeat the process. I see cut for 100%, I see. Alright. Need to move this over here. Let's see, all the 8, 7, 6, 5. Nailed it. Okay. Yeah. 8, 7, 6. Yes. Good. Right now, I'm just reorganizing where strings are located here, just so it's easier for me to comprehend, so try and keep them all grouped together. This will definitely make the programming a bit easier. So many strings, so little time. Okay. Now those have been moved. Let's to order of business. We need to get programming. So we need some kind of offset here. I'm changing the color here, chat, from light blue to green to represent actions that have been completed. I find color scheming like this to be a nice visual way to keep track of whether or not I've done a specific task or not. Our dev stream notes are at 100 pages. What have we done? Oh dear. So right now, chat, just trying to get some coordinates. So for example, this one should be around 126. 126 to 189. Alright, so difference is 63. I opened up that there chat to get like the offset that we'll be using from the melee coordinates here. Yeah, so 129 plus 63. That should be 192. Yeah. 192, 114. Let's try that just to make sure we're on the right track here. I think so. So that 5 that's right there is something completely different. But it looks like the spacing's correct. So I think we'll proceed with that offset. As you notice, chat, like, the further we get in the stream, the less confusing this begins to look because we're starting to get things all programmed where they need to be. $319 plus 63, 382. That should be all that. Yeah. Then we edit this. Oh no. Oh yes, let's do this. We got this, chat. We are going to make this main menu look much better. We can do it, chat. I believe. I believe. Alright, 63 plus 509 is... Okay, 63 plus 509. 572. Yeah. Yeah, 572. Okay. Oh wait, no, what am I doing? I'm looking at the wrong one. Alright, no, that's correct. I needed that to get... So it's 572. I need to put that here. Okay, 572. 14. I do not recall. Alright, right now, I'm just double checking to make sure everything matches up. Let's move over to the fourth one. 129 plus 63. Well, actually, we did this before. 192. And 92, 187. Yep, that's the fourth one, chat. Moving on to the next one. Alright, 319 plus 63. That should be 382. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, 382, 187. That should be 5. And this should be 5. We go from there. Alright, so there's number 5. Yep. Right. Goes there. That goes there. Goes there, and that goes there. Alright, save file, range levels 5. Yes. Ready? Okay, next up we got same position. We'll copy that, paste it here. Alright, 509 plus 63. It's 572. Alright. 572. Bada bang, bada boom. That gets copied down there. Oh, whoops. I'll do that. I forgot to edit the value in this first alterable string. These right here, chat, are alterable values that are used to sum up all the weapon levels. Now, the reason I have to use multiple values like this is because there are 30 melee and 30 ranged weapons at least planned for the game. So that's too many variables to fit all in one expression, unfortunately, with just one Fusion's limitations. So this is one workaround, is to put those some half of the levels for the weapons into different alterable variables, and then sum up those alterable variables. Okay. All right. Now we copy that. All right. Put it over there. What is my favorite Autobot and Decepticon? Autobot, I think the guy's name is Scavenger. He's the bulldozer Constructicon. And Decepticon, probably Sideways. You could argue that Sideways could go either way. That's kind of at this point, but I consider Sideways a Decepticon. Yep, that's one. All right, 225 plus 63 is 288. Yeah, I do. So 288, 260, 288, 260, 288, 260. All right. Copy that down. Boop. I'm realizing something. I really hope we don't end up brushing up against the limit for how many actions there can be in a single event. Actually, I should probably look that up. That's I think we're probably getting pretty close. So I gotta, or we will be once we get through this. So let me just look that up real quick, chat. 5 limitations. Okay. Alright, 200 event lines to be on the threads. Okay, conditions and actions per event is the limit is 128. So, knowing that, the fact that we keep adding more of these here, this is going to multiply out very quickly. Okay, so each of these have... Let's ponder this for a second, chat. There's a couple things we need to display for each save file. We need to display the levels of the player, melee weapons, ranged weapons, the wisdom level, and then we need to also display the weapon names. So actually it's already 5 and 6 for the different things. Now that's 6 6 ranged weapon. Oh, okay, so that's 6 different strength, 6 different strengths per save file. 8 save files, so 6 times 8 is 48. And it's 3 lines of code. Yeah, that's I'm realizing the headache we are in for here, chat. At the rate we're currently going, chat, we are going to be... Yeah, at the rate we're currently going, chat, we are going to be 4 lines over the limit per event. Which means we need to figure something out to avert that. We always just add another line of code, but I think, like, we want to avoid that if we can. Yeah, I know, limitations, like, who would have thunk? But I think we're going to pretty close. I think we're just going to barely go over it, so we need to find somewhere to save where we can. Let's see here. Okay, so 415 plus 63. 478. Yeah, 478, okay. In theory. Alright, range levels look good. Alright. So chat, what's worrying me right now is knowing that we are going to go over the limit here by a couple of lines unless we we do something about it. Now, normally what I do, chat, would just be to have one strain represent multiple things, but I haven't been able to get something to line up properly with that. So I guess what we can do, just for funsies, using save file player levels 1. Let's see if we can do anything about that. Plus, we need a new line. Dollar, new line. Oh, it's new line dollar, that's how it was. What I'm going to do now, chat, is an experiment to see if we can get it so that any text lines up with things. So let's do test. So just gonna repeat this a bunch of times until it won't let us. Alright, that should be enough to at least give us a feel for it. Oh, wait. You know. So it does actually sort of line up with itself. Kind of. It's at, I mean, we could work with that. If we lumped all the, hold on a second, chat. Let me think for a second. Think out loud here. So, I think I'm trying to think what is like the longest name I have for a weapon in this game. Alright, chat, as a test, I'm going to type out just the number of characters that I think the longest weapon in this game has in terms of letters. Let's just go with, I don't know, H, because H is a large letter. H. All right, well that actually fits. Please fits. What? Oh, the test box isn't wide enough. Is that wide enough? Actually, wait, I can figure this out. What is the width of one of these things? 61 to 219. Okay, so around 150 should suffice. Somewhere around there. Yeah, okay. Alright, I'll do that. If that actually fits, I think that's a way we can save on some text boxes here, chat. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the save file player level strings, and we're going to add in the dialogue that we have for the melee and ranged weapon names. And that will save us... that'll save us 3 times... 3 times 2 times 8. So that'll save us almost 48 lines of command lines there, if we handle it that way. So we won't brush up against the 128 command line limit. Also, chat, you know I've been using the software for a while when I realized that hitting the limitations of the software is something I do on a regular enough basis to remember roughly off the top of my head what that is. I mean, I know I looked it up today, but still, it's like, the fact that I even remember that's a thing. Like, oh dear. Well, time to be clever. Let's grab that. Go back to number 1. Please fit. Okay, it looks like it fits. But let's find out if it actually fits. Oh, why are they so spaced out? Oh, because I had some new lines in there. Okay. That's 2 new lines, there should only be 1 new one. Yeah. And we'll have to edit what the UI looks like a little bit. Maybe write MW and RW there to represent melee weapon and ranged weapon. Oh. Wait. I forgot the levels there, because that can be a thing. In my little test, so... Bear with me, chat. Bear with me. Let's run our test again. So this time with a different line. Line dollar plus, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, space. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The largest this could be would be level 100, so let's do that. Please fit. Oh. It fits, but barely. By the narrowest of margins. Does that mean, like, if I were just even have like a single lowercase letter, it would be fine? Or maybe we have an I here for some reason. Oh yeah. Yeah, I think we'll be okay. I think we'll be alright. Well, chat. Looks like we found our solution. Ahead of time, no less. Time to implement it. Yeah, conversely, once we do this for these, the weapon name strings here, that means we'll actually be able to get rid of the weapon name strings and save a little bit of processing power, so that'll be nice. Oh, and this is our jam chat. It's our jam. I'm feeling pumped, chat. Like, anticipating a potential problem and then solving it is one of the most satisfying things you can do as a game developer. Because it's one thing to squash a bug in your game's code, but it's quite a number to squash that bug, to anticipate that bug and squash it before it even becomes a thing. Or in this case, this wouldn't have been a bug, this would have been a limitation. Just with the software. Alright. So we'll copy that, cancel that. Go back over to here. New line plus that, and delete that new line. Nice and convenient. Alright. Delete that. Do here. Have I watched The Amazing Digital Circus? I think I've watched bits and pieces. Alright, there we go. As Fee would say, that's that. Let's do the same for the others. All right. Our next area of interest is save file player level 3. So then I'll over and grab these this code here. So this jumble of code here displays the melee weapon level and the ranged weapon. The melee weapon name, melee weapon in level, ranged weapon name and ranged weapon level for the currently equipped melee and ranged weapon in that save file. So by copying that, it allows us to add that to the string here. All right, plus new line, dollar, plus that. Delete that new line. Copy that. Okay, delete that, place that. Save file player levels 3. Save file player level 3. Yes, okay. Oh, before I forget, I must increase the size of these strings. So that the text actually displays. We don't want to end up in a situation where we forget to do this and then, lo and behold, come game update or game release time, we have some strings that just aren't visible. Around 180 should suffice. Okay. Okay. With that text has been expanded. Now we can continue. For those who are just joining the stream, we are updating some strings in order to display multiple things at once. This also actually saves us quite a bit of reprogramming time because we're not going to have to reprogram the positioning of some additional strings. We'll actually be able to remove some strings, which will be nice. Okay, so we need the fourth one. I'll let the names for. Copy that. $, plus that. Get rid of one new line. Boop. Let's see here. It's level 5. Well, actually, before level 5. Let's copy this down here. Just double checking chat. Time for level 5. Alright, grab that. 5. Add that new line. Delete the other new line. Oop. File player levels 5. Let's save file player level 6. Alright, let's add that new one. Plus that. Oh. Oh, whoops. Almost forgot to delete the second new one. Alright, chat. 2 more to go. After that, then we'll have the wisdom levels, and then that'll be all the UI that needs adding for the menu. So, a major milestone is in sight, chat. A major milestone is in sight. Copy that. Plus that. Yep. Uno más. Final playable is 8. Okay. Not that I'm aware of, Chopper Nicholson. But on the flip side, in terms of actual news. Yes. Alright, so chat, you'll notice Well, looks like we got almost all of them correct except number 6. Number 6 just needs a little edit, but otherwise the string that controls the player level here now also displays the melee and ranged weapons and force line levels. So, means some UI edits might be in order, but otherwise, this will help keep things nice and organized, and help save us some programming. So now, unironically, after making a quick little edit to number 6, where's number 6? Where's number 6? Yep, okay. Delete that. And all right, that one looks good. And that one also looks good. Let's take a look. Yep, that looks good. So, if we take another look. Yep, now it's all lined up correctly. So, I'll have to double check what the other text boxes there are used for, but we might actually, like I was saying, might actually be able to delete those. Or rename them and repurpose them as text boxes potentially for the wisdom levels. But that's good progress, chat, because that'll actually help save us on some text boxes, as I said before. So, let's see here. Okay. So chat, what I need to check is whether or not these, the save file weapon names here, actually do anything besides display things. I don't think they do, but just gotta double check. Yep, they don't do anything besides display stuff. So that means 4 of them can be deleted. The other 4 will have their programming removed and augmented. So 5 through 8 will be deleted. let's see what we can add here. So we shall rename this as save file wisdom levels 1. Name that. Wisdom level 7 and save file wisdom levels 8. Okie doke. I'll add it together. Okay. Now, as these currently are, these are no longer accurate, so boop, 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 and boop. There we go. Alrighty. And then there was one chat. Time to get some offsets here. So, offsets isn't like horizontal and vertical offsets in order to place things correctly. So, if that's 189, that's 195. So over 6. So x plus 6, y plus 118, right, 119. So 119 and 103. That'll be a y minus 16. Okay. So let's work on those. Wisdom level at speed lines. As before, need to delete that. And augments coordinates based on that. 192 and 114. So that X coordinate becomes 198. The Y coordinates becomes 98. 198, 98, ironically. Alright. What kind of Decepticon animal would I like to see featured in an episode of Robots in Disguise? Well, my favorite animal is a bat, so I think it'd be cool to see some kind of Decepticon bat. You'd have almost like a Dracula kind of Decepticon. Maybe it like is a vampire, feeds off of the energy of like all the cubes or something like that. Batman, yes. Okay, with that, that'll make problem. 98, 98. Alright, let's make sure that initial alignment's all correct before we continue to the others. Yep, initial alignment is all correct. Now we just need to do that for the others and we'll be good to go. Alright, so 382, oh. We already know it has to be 98 from the other one, in terms of the Y coordinates, so we just need the X coordinates. Oh, first things first, let's edit this down. Alright, 382 plus 6 is 388. Okay. Let's copy that down. Wisdom levels. Alright, so once again, 98 is the Y coordinate and 578 is the X coordinate. Click that edit. There we go. And range levels. It's gonna be 198 and for X, but the Y corner will be a little different. So I think that'll be 171. $198, 171. If I were a cake, what kind of cake would I be? Vanilla cake. Because vanilla's one of my favorite flavors. $198, 171, $198, 171. Let's see here. Hmm. 198, 171. Okay. That's one. 388. Let's see, one. However, must adjust that value up top to a 5. Yep. Now let's see here. $578. Adjust the top to a 6. Alright, up next is 7. Alright, so it'll be a 294 for the X coordinates and a 244 for the Y coordinates. Alright, 294, 244, 294, 244. Yep. Alright. Last calculation. 484 to 44. Yep. Alrighty, chat. It is time to see if we program this correctly. Woo! Look at that, chat! Look how clean that is! Look at it! It's glorious! Now, there's a little edit I want to do to some of the UI here, just for the, like I said before, the melee weapon, ranged weapon UI section right here, but otherwise, look at that! It's no longer a massive mess now, it actually made sense. And most importantly, we can switch around, and it all comes back. Switch around, all comes back, switch around, all comes back, switch around, all comes back. How about that, chat? How about that? Alright. So, since we've done that, chat, what does that mean for the rest of the night? Well, I think what we'll do is we'll make some quick UI edits, since this should be fairly easy to a fairly easy edit to make, just adding some text here. And then after that, we'll go from there. Alrighty. Okay. Right now I'm just trying to run a simple test. Will that work? No, it's a bit too close. So what I'm doing, chat, is trying to adjust the locations of things to see how it works out. Let's see here. Does that work? Or maybe we want a lowercase letter. Right, chat. I'm going to take a short break, so don't go anywhere, guys. I will be right back. Oh. Alright, chat. Welcome back, everyone. Copper Nicholson asks, what was the weakest Deep Space Nine episode? I forget the name of the episode, but it's an episode where essentially everyone just starts randomly falling in love with other people for seemingly no reason, and it's all because a Betazoid was set and their telepathic abilities were affecting other people's emotions. It was just a... it was just an episode that was just kind of there. I found the lowercase version of that, of the letter W in this font. So let's see how that looks. Oh yeah, that looks much better. Have MW for melee weapon. And we'll do that in the ranged weapon as well. basically need to copy these over elsewhere. Copy pasta that, read that, copy that. Go. Grabbing that. Yeah, we'll still have to affect the UI for the other animations, but just in principle. Alright, in principle, I like that load for the UI. Now we just need to make it all line up with the new stuff. Need to make this a little bit faster. Here's what we'll do, chat. Line this a bit. Copy everything. Well, almost everything. But we will specifically delete everything that is not melee weapon or ranged weapon. Yep, there we go. Yep, so right now, chat, just editing this so we can just get the text where it needs to be. Then we'll be able to copy that and paste that throughout the other frames without editing the outlines. Just like that. We have our text to copy, so Control C. Delete that. Now let's do our edits. Perfect. That's one. 7 more to go. Okay. Perfect. Yep. Only a few more, chat. Okay. Okay, 3 more. Okay. Ah, how's it work, Copper Nicholson? How's it work? Really? I would have thought like the monk would be considered. Well, I guess the monk isn't really a subclass; it's a class, but it does have quite a bit of unarmed combat. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, that's what I taught myself there, Copper. So I'm like, wait, isn't the monk no, the monk's a full-fledged class, whereas I suppose you're thinking of like a fighter subclass for unarmed. All right, so what'd you come up with, Copper Nicholson? Some kind of boxer or something like that? Okay. Alright, last one, chat. Last one. There. We... Almost. I see, Copper Nicholson, I see. Okay. Yep, that would definitely give some options for facing against different types of armors. Okie doke. Bada bang, bada boom, bada bang, bada boom, bada bang, bada boom. Bada bang, bada boom. And just like that, chat, I think everything is all in order. Well, I mean, the specialization I went with when I made a fighter character in a standard D&D 5e rule set was an Echo fighter. And that's because the Echo has a lot of utility. And it fit with the character's lore. But for now, yeah, start mainly with fighter at that point. And also, there's the new UI. Let's make sure it's all in order. Boop. 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 All right, chat. And just like that, we've hit our first nominal milestone in this rework, chat, and that is the main menu is actually all. It's been altered. It took us several streams, chat, but you'll notice now that everything that's in the menu now fits in the green box. Even if I start over, even the opening cutscene stuff. So you'll notice if I just skim through this, we've got everything fitting in the green box. The green box representing what the new window size is going to be. So how about that? Da, 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 da. Yeah. Hooray. So you know what that means, chat? It means next dev stream, chat, we're actually going to go work on the opening cutscene. Because the main menu is done. It's the rework's all set for the main menu. So this is significant progress. So with that, chat, I think this will be a good spot to wrap things up for tonight. If you're watching on, I'll make a little note here. So yeah, we did all this. Yep, we're on the opening cutscene at this point. Just set all this to green for funsies. Then wrap things up. Appreciate all the Dorothy hearts in chat. The Dorothy hearts emotes are very cute. Main menu frame is done. The 2 weeks from now is the 30th, so we'll continue from here on the 30th. Alright. Now, like I was saying, chat. If you're watching on Twitch, feel free to stick around for a raid. Or if you're watching on YouTube and you already saw it, please consider subscribing on YouTube. It's free to subscribe on YouTube, don't always change your learn. That's for wish to support. If you're watching on YouTube, have an amazing night.